Hi, thanks for coming back. So in the last video I gave a brief outline of how my diagnosis came about, what made the penny drop. I looked for a diagnosis, and this video is going to be about, was it something I'm glad I did, what have been the advantages or disadvantages, and also looking back on with hindsight, looking back on my life and trying to apply this knowledge of me having autism to some things that happened in my childhood and young adulthood make more sense to me now than they ever did then. So, was getting a diagnosis a good or bad thing? 100% good. There have been no drawbacks, no negative things I can comment on that I've experienced about getting a diagnosis. It's a very empowering thing to know that there is a reason why your whole life has been a struggle, why your whole life you've been in this state of confusion with the world, why you've never clicked or gelled into anything. And when you look back, once you've had a diagnosis, it shines lights on parts of your life that really you didn't understand what you was going through or how you even got there. You knew you was different, you knew you was not like other people. Knowing you had autism all makes so much sense. There was like a 2 or 3 week period after I got my diagnosis where I was just thinking, running around in my head, everything major thing that's happened in my life and how I apply that in hindsight to Aspergers. And yeah, it's all there. It is empowering because I now know going forward how to deal with things better. I can play to my strengths, I can avoid my weaknesses. There's an understanding from the people around me now that, you know, you sometimes act a little non-normal for good reason, and that you can be given some slack, and you can, more importantly, give yourself slack. Don't beat yourself up why there are certain things you struggle at or can't do. And because of that, that's a positive thing. I think I can live the rest of my life now happier, actually. Happier knowing that there's a reason for all of this, and happy that I can be myself. I can be that grumpy old man, as I used to be called, but it's just now called Aspergers. It's not called grumpy old man syndrome. You can not put yourself in those high stress, high anxiety situations and legitimise it to other people if you have to. You know, you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to excuse yourself. You should just be able to do what you do. And having Asperger's, that's pretty much what I've done the whole of my life anyway. I've done what I've wanted to do, when I've wanted to do it, on my own terms. But I think now I can say to people, look, I've got autism, and this situation I'm in at the moment, I don't like. It's really stressing me out. I'm going to politely, quietly and calmly remove myself from the situation because I cannot handle it. And that instantly gives you some slack. Most people understand that. So yeah, it's been good from that point of view. I can be easier on myself, you know. I can go back and reconcile everything now and go, do you know, every decision and action that I've ever taken in my whole life has been shaped by this thing called autism that I didn't even know I had, and it's very uplifting and empowering. So moving forward, that's good now, because I feel a lot happier in myself. It's given me a renewed sense of confidence, and I can go about my everyday life with some validation. You know, I have to live my life in a way that suits me, and that has always up to now come across as being arrogant and rude, self-centered, selfish, and they are kind of tiny offspring traits of having Aspergers, I suppose. But I've had a few people already say to me, you know, that makes sense now. And, you know, it makes a hell of a lot of sense to me, everything. So, yeah, if you're thinking, are there any downsides to getting a diagnosis? I'd say 100% not, no. I would think carefully about telling everybody, possibly, straight off the bat. I haven't had any negative comments since I've told people, and I've pretty much told everyone when the conversation or the right time come up. I've told people. So yeah, if you're in doubt, do it, and that's all I've got to say on that. See you next time.